welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And it is mid-May. It's very hot here. We hope you're having a good May. What's going on? You know us. We like to get together and once a week and get our favorite drinks. There's a story behind these drinks today. Which I will save till later, but these are hard won, all I'm saying. And we like to get our favorite drinks and our current crafts, and we sit and chat about what we're doing and life in general. Eve, I think you're off camera. I think you need to scoot this way. So I think Beth's going first.
Yes.
Do we want to move the...
Yeah, I'll move this.
Oh, yeah. It'll be over here. That's cute.
So cute.
So last week, I think by the time I think I was talking about how I finished my 7 days of my first WIP-GO project. So my second WIP-GO project that I think I started Friday was the first day. Yeah, is Lost and Found by Silver Creek Samplers, and the verse: I am a lost sheep gone astray. Shepherd, find me, this I pray. O shepherd, listen to my prayer and keep me in thy loving care. So the big sheep, branch with leaves and various things. So last week, I think I finished this little border thing across the top, and I was working on the leaves, and I got so sick of them that I went and did the sheep, but then I went back after I finished the sheep, which I was also getting sick of, because it's just a lot of stitching, and it's not like the just kind of like back and forth fill-in stitching. It's like, you know, because of all these little swirls in the sheep's fleece, you know, you kind of have to really think whether you're doing out and back stitching or just 1x at a time stitching and all that. And I do a kind of a combination of both in many circumstances, and especially in this, just so I can get around those swirls and, you know, make sense and everything. But I finished the sheep, which was the big major issue for the most part, and I finished all the leaves. So now I have more of the words to finish.
You got all that grass.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of grass underneath this sheep. There's like and some flowers. There's these flowers on the end, and then there's a lot of this, just lots of grass. And so technically Thursday was the 7th day on this, but I stitched on it yesterday, and I'll probably stitch on it some more today, just because I'd like to finish the words, at least the words on the bottom here. I did work on the some of the grass here, but again, I got tired of, you know, stitching with one color, and I wanted to do the flowers. I haven't done those yet either, so I don't know. Anyway, so I'm probably going to keep stitching on this a little bit, at least today. But I do need to. I have my 2 new starts for this month for WIP-GO, and I had hesitated doing them because I just, you know, I had to pick fabrics and all that kind of stuff, and that's just not my favorite thing to do. I still have not picked one for Never Mind, this little freebie from Lindy Stitches, the passive aggressive raven. Never mind, quote, the passive aggressive raven. Yeah, you know, play on that Edgar Allan Poe Nevermore, quote, the raven thing. Anyway, so I want to pick, this pattern has a lot of black in it, but then it has these candelabras that are on the lighter side. So I think it's finished in this, it's hard to see in the picture, but it's kind of a grayish fabric. So I don't know if I have anything that shade. I don't think I have anything the right size.
Gray sounds Edgar Allan Poe-ish.
Yeah.
Nothing bright and sunny.
I might have, actually have like
One of those fabrics that I dyed that didn't work
maybe, yeah.
would work.
I also have some Ada that's I think it's Bristol is what it's called, that is kind of like a dark grayish color that I have that might work for that. I just thought of that the other day, so I have to look that up and find in my fabric stash. But my other new start is Moon Gazer, and this the fabric that they did it on is called Night Skies by Fiber on a Whim, and
You've been talking about that for weeks.
yeah, I talked about because I haven't started it yet. So I was looking at it.
Oh,
going,
I thought it was the owl one.
No,
Oh,
that one
bunny?
that one I already started. Yeah.
I see.
But the majority of this picture is negative space, right? It's the blue. The blue in the sky is mostly the fabric because, like, this moon, is isolated. Like the ground that the rabbit is standing on is stitched, but most of the sky up here is not stitched. Like the tree and the little stars and the moon.
So you really need a
Yeah,
blue
so
fabric.
you do need a blue fabric. And so I was looking through like the grab bag fabric that we had to see if anything would fit, and nothing was wide enough. So I'm going to either use this. This is 28 count even weave, and this is 28 count Lugana. So one of these fabrics, because this one,
That one's a little light.
yeah, this is a little bit lighter. Yeah, so I don't know that it's dark enough to use because I don't think it's night enough, nighty enough. But it's got a little darker patch on this side.
That one looks like it might be better. The other one.
Yeah, and there's this one here. I just found them this morning. I looked
See
at
that?
them.
That
Yeah.
sounds really pretty.
So there's this
No,
one
that
here.
would be good.
Yeah,
It's hard to see with the
it's hard to
light.
see with the light
Yeah.
shining through it, but yeah, it's darker. Yeah,
That's nice.
so that might be problem solved, right there. Live on camera, you saw it yourself.
Well, not live.
Yeah, but you're the first to know. And then for cross stitch camp, which is coming up June, July, and August, I'm preparing for that because it's coming up sooner than you think. Because it has to take
Tell
a
me
little,
about-
huh?
Tell me about June
Yeah.
coming sooner than you.
Yeah. So it takes a little, foresight, forethought. The June prompt is stitch something from a magazine. So I don't have all of my magazines here, but I do have a couple of them, a couple of punch needle magazines here. I've let my subscription lapse because at the time that it lapsed, I thought, oh yeah, I do that. But we were still in the throes of I think the limbo of showing the house and and all that, and
You didn't have a new address yet.
I didn't. Yeah, and because of the storage unit, I was spending money to pay for the storage unit. So so I thought, I'll do it next month. I'll do it next month. I don't, and I just ended up not doing it. So
Can you buy them at stores?
Yeah.
yeah, but and I hadn't bought one because I kept telling myself I was going to renew my subscription. So yeah. But anyway, so I'm going to look through. I think I've got one or two issues here of my punch needle, and so I can always, almost always find something that I like there. So I think I'm going to look through that and see if I can find something that is small enough to finish, within a month. Because in for those 3 months I'm still going to have my WIP-GO stitching to do. So I want to choose something on the smaller side that I can finish. So anyway, so June is stitch something from my magazine. July, of course, is a patriotic theme, and then August is stitch something new to you. So, like I said, the magazine thing I haven't decided on yet. For July, I decided for the patriotic thing. I have, like 5 patriotic charts, and I was, hemming and hawing about what would be, what I could finish, and what would be, the right. This blue is I just like the blue, I guess. So what I decided to do for the patriotic one is the Freedom Flock by Plum Street Samplers. It's, one of her stacked animal things. So there's 3 little eagles here. There's a teeny weeny baby eagle on the very top. And then this eagle in that one.
That's cute.
Yeah. So I'm going to do Freedom Flock. And this, the stitch count is 57 by 91. So I think I can do that easily. And the fabric I chose was from our little grab bag. But it's just big enough for Freedom Flock.
It's pretty.
Yeah. And it's like 36 count, very tiny. So that.
You think it's 36 count?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we went through these fabrics and we're like, I think it's this, I think it's that. And like, Eve counted it and then I counted it and then, so like, well, I think it's this. And so if we weren't sure, we counted it again, So anyway,
It's
so
giving
that's.
me a headache just thinking about it.
And then for August, the prompt is stitch something new to you. And I've done lots of different designers, I've used different fabrics, different count fabrics, all the fancy floss, silk, stuff like that. So it's hard for me to choose something that I haven't done before. But this one, Glory in the Wind, it's one of the patriotic things. It came out at market and it's very popular, and it's beautiful. I want to stitch it very badly. It's a little bit on the large side, 128 by 101, but it is new to me. I've never done anything by Robin Pickens, this designer, and I thought, have I done anything by Robin Pickens? I don't know. And so I was looking through my listing of projects on ThreadStash, and I thought, can I sort it by designer? No, you cannot sort by designer. So I went through my whole list of projects, and so some of them I knew for sure. I know that's a Twin Peak Primitives, or I know that's whatever. And so the ones that I wasn't sure about, I went and looked at, and because her name, I wasn't sure. Her name is familiar. I've heard her name before. But the Robin that I was thinking of is a pattern I have by Little Robin Designs, which is different. So I didn't find anything by Robin Pickens. So I'm counting that as a new to me.
The cross stitch police are going to come and verify later.
So
it's so cute. It's really
so
pretty.
it's really pretty, and yeah. So that's.
It might be big, but there's a lot of negative space.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
A lot of words, that'll be easy.
Yeah, and so.
Words easy.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna do for August, and I have to find a fabric. So that is me.
All right. I am up next. Sorry, I'm just zeroing out my counters in my knit companion. Okay, so when I left here last week, I was like, I gotta go return my linen, right? The linen yarn.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I did that. I went to Tempe Yarn and Fiber, and they're so great. The owner, manager helped me, walked me around, gave me options. And there wasn't anything in black that I liked or that Hannah would like. And then we did find this yarn by Barocco called Tilly, and these were the 2 options. I'll just show you both. These are the 2 options that I sent to Hannah. Mm-hmm. So one is like a tonal slate color. It's called slate, and the other is like a gray.
A cool gray.
like, what do you call it? Variegated gray. And so she picked the gray. So I was like, and these have a little bit more yardage than the ones I was returning. And so I have now 81 cents of credit. So it worked out perfectly because I thought I was going to have to spend another, I don't know what, to get the yardage that I needed for those tops. Barocco, however you say it, yarn does drop ship because they didn't have the yarn. They only had those single skeins of those colors. So, but they do something called drop ship where the shop will order it and then send it right to your house. So I did that. However, it is not going to come, I doubt it now, unless miraculously it comes today or it could come on Monday, before my trip to Chicago. And that's what I really wanted to work on while I was in Chicago. I was really, because this is getting too big and unwieldy to take anywhere. Yeah. So I was like, well, if that yarn doesn't come, I have to have a backup plan. I don't know what to do because I'm not going to go and sit in my hotel room and do this. And Mark's like, you're going to be tired. You never want to. I'm like, no, I'm going to knit. If I'm sitting down doing nothing, I'm going to knit. I don't care how tired I am. Case in point, staying up till 3 a.m. knitting. So I decided, so I was like, what do I do? I went and took out a bunch of my projects. They're all basically too bulky to take. Because I want something small to fit, in my carry-on bag and that won't be ridiculous. Even if I take it out at a break in the conference, I don't want it to be like, I gotta get my yarn out. So I was like, what do I do? And I started so I looked through all my patterns. I mean, my WIPs that I have there in Hannah's craft room. And there was a pair of socks that is ready to turn the heel, and I could take those. But then I thought about something that my young friend that used to work with me, Maddie, it was one of her, when she first started learning to knit, it was I think her second project or whatever. She made something called, and forgive me for not looking at the camera, I am looking for the, it's called Felted, that's what they called it. I'm looking for the pattern on my iPad, sorry, so I can show you. They're called sailor slippers, and it's a pattern where you knit a large slipper in non-superwash wool, and then you felt them, and they come down, they shrink down basically to foot size, and it's made with bulky yarn. And it had, like I said, it has to be real wool, 100% wool, in order for it to felt. And this is a stripe pattern, but of course you can make it solid. And she really talks about all the different. She has a page about all the different kinds you can make this. Making an accent around the foot part, around the ankle part, or whatever. So she gives you a lot of options, and I guess there's a few sizes. And so I was thinking, do I need to go buy wool for that? But then I saw somebody made it out of, so it's bulky weight, which means if you have worsted weight wool, you can hold 2 strands together, and that will make the size. And she said that it takes a little longer to felt if you have the 2 strands, because they felt within themselves, and then they also have to felt together. But Peyton's wool, which is basic, you can get this. Well, I got this at Joann's. May she rest in peace. But you can get this at any craft store, I believe. This is just 100% wool, classic. It's not super wash. It will felt. So I happen to have a bunch. I don't know if you remember, I made my friend some slippers, those pocketbook slippers, out of this purple, and I have this gray, and I have this dark gray, which I had started on a different project, and you see it's all kinky because I pulled it out for this project. And then I have this nice blue. I have a lot of that. and I have this black. So I have a lot of colors to pick from. I can kind of make it scrappy. I can pick a couple colors. I'm thinking maybe I'll pick, well, and since I have to hold it double, I'm thinking I'm going to rewind these into cakes and pull from the outside and the inside to make the double strand, so that I can have a solid stripe of one color instead of having a like marled look. So that's what I'm thinking about. So I'm thinking maybe, well, and also I don't want it to get dirty. I mean, I don't want it to look dirty. So I'm thinking maybe these two colors together, and then maybe this along the ankle, because you need less of that one. And then they also, I guess you can buy like these, it's probably fake leather little soles that you can sew onto the bottom, or put like the fabric glue, but buttons of fabric glue or whatever. Anyway, to make them non-skid. But so I found myself a project, and this will be pretty compact, and
Well, and it'll be fun to start something new, and
yeah, and you can knit it on flat needles, which is kind of cool, because you just knit it flat and then you seam it up. However, I have no idea.
Chicago slippers.
But I'm like, if all these kids can make these, I can make these. So, 'cause it's like super popular. Like this, it's called Sailor Slippers, and she made a Sailor Slippers mini where you can make little kid ones like this. And I've never felted things, and so, I mean,
not on
intentionally. So I'm kind of excited. And I'll tell you in stories why I'm extra excited to have this project at this particular time. But so that's going to be my Chicago project, unless by some miracle Hannah's yarn shows up in the next 2 days. Because the other problem with drop shipping is you don't have any tracking. You don't know. It usually takes about 2 weeks. But Baracco was also in Chicago 2 weeks ago, doing a convention, which the owner of Tempe Yarn and Fiber was at. So they're also getting back, and they have all their orders. So she's like, I don't know. She goes, it could come before you leave, but anyway. So we don't know. It's just in the ether. The yarn stork is flying my way, but I don't know when it's going to get here. So I'm planning. I have my contingency plan for my projects, and otherwise that is me. Oh. I do have, well, I didn't bring it with me. I'll talk about it next week. think I've settled on a quilt pattern for my new bed. By the way, the new bed is great, very comfortable. And I think it's a version of the Hunter Star. It's called the Archer Star. The Hunter Star I made for Hannah several years ago. You can go back. I made it in felt, actually, felted wool squares, and or whatever that's called. Yeah, it was felt. But anyway, so this one is very large. It's a very large quilt. It's called Archer Star, and in Hannah's quilt, the arrows of the hunter were at an angle like this, and in this one they're horizontal and vertical instead of at an angle. So it's a little bit different look to it. And I'm going through Missouri Star's layer cake options, and but it was funny because I went through all my old MSQC books and found quilts that I liked that would be big enough, and then I had a showing to Mark, like, do you like this? Do you like this? Do you like, what about this? What about this? And he was like, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I don't care. And he's like, they all look cool. They all looked good to him, you know. And then it's really going to depend on fabric choice. So I kind of am thinking slate-ish, a slate blue or blue theme. And that's going to cause him to need to paint the room to match. But yeah, so I have a bunch of favorites now saved in my account on Missouri Star. You can, if you have an account, it's free. You just like log in, you could have favorites. And so I have a folder called New Bed, New Quilt, and I put a bunch of fabric choices in there, and I haven't shown them to him yet, but because I don't know if he's going to want more monochromatic or more like vibrant or what. Because in this one, in the other one that I made, the stars were also kind of, I think they were, I have to look, but I think they were scrappy as well. But in this one, the stars are, the arrows are not, they're the different colors of the layer cake. But the stars are all the same. They're like a white and in this sample, they're a white and a blue. And they're all, it's like solid, and they're all the same. So then those arrows really stand out, and the stars really stand out. So, so it's a little bit different. So I'm going to have to really work the fabric choices on that. But anyway, that's my other project. So that's me.
Okay.
Eve's going to go now.
I'm working again on Murder in the Garden. I was working on this while I was doing the spring mingle, which is going on now. And this is where I am right now. So this right here, except for the back stitching, is completely done.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Neat. Uh-oh. Put a pause.
So that's what I'm working on right now, but I finished the 3 bags that I was working on. They're all the same. They're this metallic firework fabric, and then the patriotic words fabric. And they're in the Etsy shop already.
Those are cool.
And they're slightly bigger than the last ones because the fabric was longer.
Oh, good.
So I was able to make them where you can actually fit an 8.5 by 11 in it. But best for smaller parts.
Do you have the same USA charms on the?
Yeah, it's got the same USA charms on it. And I have pictures to show you up close.
Are you done with my sewing machine? I don't care so much about my sewing machine, but my cutting mat I'd like back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I've been working on a project. I gave up on the seashell. I gave up on the seashell water bottle holder because I didn't like it. And if I didn't like it, I'm not going to give it to anybody. And I started working on this. Here's a picture. Okay.
Oh yeah.
This particular designer is very new to Etsy, like 2 months. And this is the way the project came. No cover sheet.
Oh, no pictures.
No name of the company.
Oh wow. No
It's-
photos, no nothing.
No, it's hooked vision, I think. But see, that's the problem. No name.
Yeah.
I need to write it on here somewhere. I have to look it up again. Her patterns are beautiful. I chose this one just because it was very summery.
Yeah.
But I worked to get the gauge right. When I got the gauge right, I'm like, this can't be right. This can't be right. So I hope I'm going to keep working on it. That's the nice thing, is that I can frog it.
Yeah.
You know, if I feel like, you know, like the size is not, it's just, but right now the size looks completely wrong.
Does it say how wide it's supposed to be? Measurement?
The one I went by the sizes that we were talking about, but it doesn't have the measurement for the bottom, just the bust.
Oh, it doesn't have a finished size?
Yeah, when you were looking at it, you got it all wound up.
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to unwind it.
Here, I'll unwind it for you. While you
Well,
talk.
I just want to show it. So, here's what it looks like. It's this spider web pattern.
It's pretty.
And I chose this yellow, and it's going to have a black underneath. So it'll look real bumblebee.
Bumblebee.
Yeah. The black hasn't come in yet. I'm waiting for it. But, yeah. I'm not ready for it yet anyway. I still have to, I'm almost done with the last row of the pattern, and then I have to repeat it 3 more times. So I'm going to be waiting. I'm not going to be waiting for black when I'm ready for the black.
Yeah.
And it comes, the white that you see in this is part of the thing. I thought it was just she had on a little crop top underneath.
Right.
But no, it's part, so it's like all one garment.
Okay. Do you like you started at the shoulders or something?
It started down here. And
No, I'm sorry. When you start the under part, does it start like the shoulders and go the other way?
I don't know. I couldn't figure it out because there's no pictures.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so when I review it, I'm going to say the pattern's actually very easy to follow. The instructions, it's very easy to follow. The gauge, I was like, but I'll hold my judgment on that. But the pattern's very easy to follow. But a picture or two would be nice. The only picture that she has, what did I do with the pattern? I had it right here.
Is it underneath? No, I don't know.
That was weird.
Here it is.
Oh yeah, you tucked it.
The only pattern that she has
Oh.
is just what the spider web looks like.
Yeah.
That's just not enough pictures. And she's very new and to Etsy,
Yeah.
but obviously not new to writing the pattern. But I had to, when I printed out the pattern, 2 or 3 lines at the bottom of each page I had to write in because they got cut off.
Oh.
So there's not, she went typed all the way down and then it went to the next page, and so there was no gap
Margin.
big enough for the printer to catch. So
Maybe she made it in some different
she might have,
thing
I
that
don't
wasn't
know.
like a
There
Word
might have
document.
there might have been a conversion or something. Anyway, I think it's going to come out pretty, but whether it's the right size or not remains to be seen. I was supposed to have a new start of quilted berry, and I went, I'm not feeling that. So I started this, which is called Citrus Sea Turtle.
Citrus, like an orange?
Uh-huh. Citrus Sea Turtle.
Oh, citrus
Uh-huh.
sea turtle, not citrusy.
No, not
Tur-
citrusy. And this is as far as I've gotten on that. I started
Let me
it
see the
right.
picture.
I started it right before the spring mingle. I wanted something easy to work on during the mingle.
I see. Oh, it's citrus because of the color.
Yeah.
I see. Cute.
And I was working on that this morning. And I picked up this earlier this week and was working on this. This is Anchored Tails. Oh, that other one's by Stitch Grip. This is by Stitchy Pros. I finished one of the seahorses. I just need to put in the,
I'm going to interrupt you.
okay. So I was working on Anchored Tails, and I've got one seahorse done, except for the seaweed. I just love seahorses.
I'm so jealous of that pattern. That's,
Oh, that's
one I did not
pretty.
buy. Yeah.
The color on him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
I'm gonna
pretty.
do the green next, and then I'm gonna move on to other. I need to borrow a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't started on any of yours yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay, we're going to talk about weather here for a minute. This is my temperature chart called Temperature Pets, and I am working on this kitty right here for May. It was 109 last week. It was 109 at the airport. Here in Santan, it was 113.
It's gross.
Yeah. So
It's gross. And
I have
Mark
another
yells at
color.
me and he goes, "You've lived here for 30 years. Why are you surprised?"
because it's May.
I'm like,
It's not supposed to be this hot yet. We're thinking, what's July going to be like? Is it going to be 125?
ugh.
I might need to add even another one. I have one 115 and above,
Yeah.
but if it gets too far above that,
They're gonna have to close the airport again, you know?
yeah,
So the runway melt.
yeah, the runway starts melting and they have to close the airport.
Fun times.
I would normally have worked on this morning, but with the spring mingle, I didn't. So this is a crazy stitch in this house. It's just because I didn't want to mess it up. So this is where I am. I have Pashy.
Pashy.
See, it's Pashy.
Passy.
I still need to write Annette. And Cobblestone Castle, I worked on this the 5 days I was supposed to, but I didn't do a lot on each of those days. Lately, my eyes do not want to do 32 count. This is as far as I got.
The pumpkin.
And the walkway up to the castle.
Mm.
I wanted to do a ghost, but I decided not to. I'm trying to eat my vegetables first. And then I'm gonna be working on this the rest of the month. As I can. I kind of want to finish it, but we'll see.
Is the hands-on.
This is hands-on design, the summer basket, and I'm doing this one. I already did these two, and I made them into a biscornu. So I'm finishing the last one.
It's pretty.
I don't know that I'll finish it. I mean, complete it, but I'm going to work on it. Just not, this is very intricate. This is not something I want to work on while I'm trying to talk online.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, no, I need something else. And then this was the last new start I was supposed to do one of the new starts I was supposed to do for WIP-GO. This is Art Deco Autumn
Oh, yeah.
by Cross Stitching for Fun. Now they're called Sunflower Cross Stitch.
I like that pattern.
It was my least favorite of the Art Deco ones.
Yeah.
Just because
Well, yeah, because it's less interesting than the bugs and the what was it, birds and.
it's all one color, But this is as far as I got working on that middle leaf.
That's
A start is a start.
That's a BS start.
A start is a start. No
A
matter
start
how
is a
small.
yeah. I found a lot of colors and I was like, are these colors in this thing? Yeah, out on the border that I'm not gonna do. But obviously I found one. And then last but not least, I was working on this a lot last night during this mingle.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's pretty. You're almost done with the blue.
Almost done with the blue.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the red and the white might go a little faster just because I don't have to think about I just alternate reds and alternate whites. There's 2 reds and 2 whites.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't decided if I want to do one row, all one color of white and one row, but I think I'll just go, alternate them. Okay, because the blue is so colorful. And that is all I've been doing.
That's it. All right, so that brings us to our question of the week. Last week we asked you to share about your moms, and we did get some memories there, and that was nice. This week we are wondering if two things, either one. Are you doing what's it called? Spring mingle.
Spring mingle.
Are you doing spring mingle? Are you participating? Will you see these guys out there in your little rooms? And does it go to tomorrow as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, or maybe you're watching. Maybe you're doing spring mingle instead of watching us.
Probably.
You catch up on Monday. Anyway, did you do it? And then also, are you planning to do cross stitch camp?
Cross stitch camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time they talk about cross stitch camp, there's a little part of me that's like, I want to go to real cross stitch camp, like in the mountains, like a camp. But you just got to make it up in your own mind.
Yeah. People joke about, what cabin they're in, or
Right.
or the frogs came to my cabin, that sort of thing.
Is there any kind of online?
There's a
Gathering
Facebook. There's a Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been to it. I didn't go to it last year,
Mm.
but
And she doesn't.
she can't do it. She can't do it on Instagram anymore because they stopped doing the hashtags where she can search it by hashtag. So we're posting it on her website.
I see.
Also, she does like a free camp badge each year. So I think I have all of them or almost all of them downloaded. I just haven't stitched them.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's fun.
But like,
should
you could
that.
do like one of those mesh bags that you can stitch on.
Yeah. And do all your badges. That's fun.
Or stitch it, on and then attach it to a project bag or something like that.
That's fun.
Lindy Stitches has a whole bunch of those mesh bags in the Etsy shop. I mean, Etsy.
Yeah.
In the shop, online shopping for this spring mingle.
Oh,
And I
see.
thought about getting another
Yeah.
large one.
Oh, I see.
I bought a small one last year, but I thought about getting another large one.
Well, I didn't know you got little badges to stitch. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just for those of you who don't know, because I don't know, as I understand it basically, but it's you get an assignment for the 3 months of the summer.
Yeah, you get a prompt or a assignment, for each month, and your goal is to stitch that project
And complete it, right?
Yeah, to start it, start it on the first of the month, and to finish it by the end of the month. Yeah.
Well, you don't have to start it on the first. You just can't start it before
the first. Yeah.
I see. Yeah. So, are you doing cross stitch camp? Have you ever done it? Are you thinking about it? Does it cost anything?
No, it didn't cost anything.
Yeah,
That's neat.
the attic is having something the last weekend of the month.
Yeah, the what do they call it? Summer school?
No, summer school's in August.
Oh,
But they're having something,
yeah.
and people keep asking me, "Are you going?" I'm like, "No, I want to go, but no."
Aw,
Yeah. So yeah,
that's fun.
so it's really nice to be able to participate in this one. Because
And if you're, there goes dogs. Come here, dogs. If you're a knitter, have you gone to Maryland Sheep and Wool, which happened, I think, a couple weeks ago.
Ow! Dog stepped on my toe.
I've always wanted to go, and my husband has family in Maryland, and sometimes I think I'm going to invade your house, and I'm going to go to Maryland Sheep and Wool, but I would need, of course, time, and it happens in May, which is not doable for my job, so that would be a stretch. But I heard that it happened recently, and I've always wanted to go. Oh, dogs hit the tripod. Sorry. Oh my gosh.
They're playing tug of war with their bigger toy.
Dogs are getting out of hand. The big one plays keep away with the little one. It's very funny.
they have a toy, and they're like,
Yeah, they get too noisy. Okay, so that was our question. Let us know if you're participating in any of those things.
or participating in anything
Oh
else.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there's other regional things or something like that. Just get-togethers or what are they called? Like
Retreats,
challenges, retreats.
Yes, I've been seeing a lot of people had talked about Stitch North, which is a retreat in Canada.
Oh wow!
That a lot of people went to, and
Apparently, it was very cool.
yeah.
Cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody had posted pictures of her and she and her friends went out for, I don't know, coffee or something like that, and they're all bundled up and wind blowing, like.
Yeah, I can't even understand it, and that's so.
It's gotten windy here, but not cold.
No, I'm going to Chicago on Tuesday, and it's like mid-60s, rain, and the lows in the 50s. I know for a lot of you that's like, oh, that sounds nice. I will be freezing. I will be miserable. My blood is way too thin, so I gotta pack wisely. So yeah, that's happening. Okay, I promised you a story about these McDonald's sodas.
Oh.
So on our way here, Eli and I stopped at McDonald's, and I was like, while I was waiting for my order, I was like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I went in the bathroom, and as I'm sitting there, of course I'm looking at my phone, and I see out of the corner of my eye movement coming toward me on the floor. And I was in the small, like, regular stall, and there was the handicap stall was like perpendicular to the door, to my door. So I see something coming on the floor, and my first thought is, it's a roach, right? We're at McDonald's. I don't know. I never see roaches at McDonald's, but I thought, it's a roach. And it made a movement, and then it made another one, and then I saw it. And it was the most terrifying spider I think I've ever seen in person. I've seen a tarantula. It didn't scare me the way this scared me because it was 2 feet away from me. And I'm like, oh no. So I hurry up. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here, and I'm like just have my eyes locked on it. Because it is a tiny little bathroom, and there is nowhere for me to go but past it. So I'm sitting there staring at it, and when I stood up, it ran away. I'm like, so I'm like getting my stuff off the hook, and I'm like opening the door, and I look for it like in the little perpendicular thing between the 2 doors, and I don't see it. And then it's across the stall, the handicap stall on the floor by the wall. And here, sorry, trigger warning. If you are afraid of spiders, look away. Here's a picture of that monster. And I was like, and I went and washed my hands, and like, I'm like turning on the dryer because there's no paper towels. And I'm literally thinking, like, if that thing comes at me, I don't even want to step on it because it will squish. And also, I'm wearing sandals. I don't want it near my feet. I am like, it looked mean. It looked mean. It did not look like a harmless little, like, I mean, you would think maybe it's...
Wasn't a daddy long legs.
No, it was one of those, I have to look it up. It was like, it had a flat back on it.
Yeah, it
was really nasty.
It looked bad.
And I'm like, what the heck, Queen Creek? What kind of spiders do you grow out here? And so I was very unhappy. And I went out there, and of course it's what I call a robot McDonald's, which has, there's no employees at the front. You just order on the kiosk, and then they just stick it on a shelf. And of course they put the 3 Cokes with no carrying case, even though it's a to-go order. Wouldn't you think? And so I had to get a carrying case. Is that what I just said? A tray. I had to get a tray and also tell them that they had a monster in the bathroom. So I just basically walked into the back, like as far as I could, still on the little tile, but not not into their space, but like as far as I could. I leaned over. I'm like, "Excuse me, excuse me," and the guy comes over. And I'm like, I need a carrying case for the... I need a tray. I need a tray. They should have a case. Okay. I need a tray for those drinks. And also, you have a monster in the bathroom, in the women's bathroom. And he looked at me, so I showed him the picture. And he was like, the girl goes, oh, that looks like a tarantula. I'm like, it's not a tarantula. But I'm like, that looked like a spider that, if it had been a tarantula, I would have been less scared. Number one, they move slow. Number
And
two, they don't
you.
bite you. Number three, you know, they're tarantulas. They're kind of cute. But that thing, I'm like, if that had gotten near me, it would have bitten me. Or Eli goes, maybe it was one of those jumping kind of. Don't say that. I know those terrify me. Now, it didn't do that thing. Some spiders, when you are near them, they lift their legs up like this. It didn't do that to me. It ran away from me. Thank goodness. Because I would have.
I wonder if they caught you know, their supplies, and it came in on supplies.
Maybe, but I mean, like.
But it was in the bathroom.
It was in the bathroom. And that McDonald's is, I mean, that's all new construction there, and it's basically in the desert, you know. And just below that area is like basically like that's where I get eggs. It's like farmland right there.
Yeah.
Big lots, and you know, and then across the street they've displaced everything because they've built
My
thousands
skin is
of
literally
houses.
crawling.
I know. And my second thought after I was like, what the heck, Green Creek? What kind of spiders do you have here? And then my second thought was, I bet Eve and Beth have these at their house. Because it's only 10 minutes away.
Well, yeah. When I was still taking auditions around the country, I went out to Florida and auditioned out there. And my friend Kevin lives like in the Orlando area. And so I had talked to him about, because I was staying at Eve's place, and she and our friends were down taking a cruise, and so they were going to be coming back. And so I had like I had figured out that my flight home, you know, out and back would be cheaper if I stayed a week there, you know. And so so I was staying in Cocoa by myself, but my friend Kevin was in Orlando. Is just driving across Florida. So I went out there for a couple of days. He had some friends that lived on a lake, and we went water skiing. Or I tried. They dragged me around the lake. But so we were, you know, afterward we were sitting in these people's like living room, you know, eating and talking, blah blah blah. And up on the corner of the roof was I think they're called wood spiders. It was a big, you know, spider like this, big old hair. And I'm like, you know, like,
and they were like, "Oh, yeah, that's Ralph."
yeah.
When I was
living in Florida, I learned to kill spiders with the bristles of a broom. You know, just hit it straight on. I learned that in Belgium because the spiders were, you know, there. I'm sitting in my living room. There's a divider wall between me and the kitchen, and right across from that wall was a spider. I swear he was this long. It was long legs up, long legs down, and a tiny little body. Mm-hmm. And I was just like,
I need to move now.
I can't kill that spider. My broom is in the kitchen. How am I going to get past the spider to get the broom? I called my friend who's terrified of bees. And I said, Spider, there's a big spider. What do I do? She goes, you can do it. You can do it. I edged around the edge of the thing, and the spider's there, and I'm keeping an eye on it. Got the broom and killed it. Now, those of you that like spiders, and you think,
who are you?
You should just grab it. You think you should just gently take it outside and let it go free. I believe that spiders have a right to live outside. But if they come in my space,
I'm going to kill them.
It's a death sentence. It's a death sentence. You know, because I am not. If I had that spider in my house, though, I would have to be outside of the house until the exterminator.
I had a
call the fire department.
I had a friend who felt that way about spiders, and she would always, you know, carry them out or whatever. And I'm like, one day the spiders are all going to come. You're going to wake up in the morning and they're all going to be on your bed. And you're like, our leader.
Like,
Because you saved us all.
like, was it Harry Potter?
Yeah.
You follow the spiders.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look up that spider so that I could know how to kill it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
There was when I lived in Little Rock, I had these tiny spiders like way up. You know, I had like 9-foot high ceilings or something, and so they'd be like way up in the in the corner of the wall and the ceiling, whatever. And one time I was lying in bed, I was looking up, and I thought, oh, there's a spider up there, and some kind of little flippy, natty little flipping bug was flying around and flew up there, and the spider had like made a little tiny web in the corner.
Okay, I don't need to hear this.
And you see that bug, and he flies into the web, and he gets stuck, and the spider like all of a sudden comes down and like
So, okay,
circles
so
of life.
I will say that spiders are beneficial. I understand that.
Yes.
And I know that they're not interested in us, and they kill
They're
pests.
beneficial outside.
They kill pests, but yeah. And the
Don't
fact
want
that
them
he
in my
was like, number 1, so big, and number 2, on the floor, and number 3, about 2 feet from my foot, was unnerving. Now, I don't automatically want to kill them, but I am not going to interact with them. I'm not going to be like, oh, let me put you on a piece of paper and put you outside. So no, I told Eli, I'm not super arachnophobic, but that traumatized me just because it was so close to me, and because you see that movement, and I'm like, why are you coming at me? Go outside. There's more bugs outside. But yeah, so we had our first apartment here in Arizona was on this road called Baseline, and our front door faced Baseline Road, which was why we moved, because it was a nightmare. But across the street from there was basically like South Mountain Preserve, and like Mark's office was over there, but it was all like there was roads, but there was like a lot
The
of
mountains
desert.
really close.
Yeah. So we saw like occasionally big moths and stuff, but one day we came and there was it must have been some kind of tarantula. It was like a brown, but it wasn't, like the big hairy black ones, but it was big and it was brown and it was sitting over our door. And I remember being like, oh my God. And you go inside and because I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm not going to, like, it's outside, I don't want it to come in. So you go in and out really fast. And then it just kind of hung there. I think it was just hunting. And I don't know, for weeks, we just started calling it Spider-Man. Like, hey, Spider-Man, And it was okay because it stayed there. It didn't try to come in. It didn't, like, attack me. It didn't jump on me. And so we just kind of got used to it being up there in the corner.
In my apartment, my second apartment in Little Rock, I had a little balcony, but on the back side, on the back of the building, and on the back side of that building, we had a wasp problem because I guess I don't know, they would come in, I don't know if they were mud daubers or whatever you call them, but they would build little nests on the brick of the building, and they would, in my apartment, I think it was on the door frame to the balcony.
Eesh.
There was a little nest like hanging from a little thing, that they had built there, and I had to call the management. There's a wasp nest out there, because I was like, I'm not going to spray it. I'm not going to whack it or anything like that. And as a matter of fact, one time, my cats, they. When I first moved there, I didn't leave the balcony door open because I would see people and I'm like, don't you get flies in your apartment? How can you do that? Because we didn't have screen doors, But after a while, I started doing that, and I liked it well enough. And Snug was my bug wrangler, because whenever flies would come in, he'd like snatch a pebble from my hand, kind of deal. But so he loved it, to sit out there, and when flies came in, he would grab them and then he would eat them.
Gross.
And so, but one time there was a wasp flying around outside or whatever. I think it flew in briefly and flew out again. And so I was like, and I'm trying to get the cats to come in, and they're Puck's out there dawdling because he liked to try to get birds and stuff like that. And before I knew it, before I could get them in, Snug grabs one of those wasps and he tries to bite it. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Bah!" And he shakes his head and he ran back in. And then he shook his head again and I was like, "Oh no," because I was afraid it had stung him or something.
Yeah.
But he, because I kept checking his mouth, like, did he have any swelling,
Yeah.
But fortunately not. So I think he learned his lesson about, don't bite the big yellow ones.
With the flies here, Rogue starts trembling and runs and sits behind my back and it's like, save me from the fly. And Hank goes,
I'll save it.
Yeah.
I'll deal with it.
Let me deal with it.
So I have a story. Early this morning I was on my phone and
We're
there's
so ashamed.
Yeah, there's a guy that I follow. Many people follow him, so maybe you do. Called Wolfgang. His handle is Wolfgang. His name is Steve. But he used to live in Colorado, and he recently moved to Ohio. And he has this big, gigantic, 3-story house out there he bought. He's renovating. But anyway, he has 9 dogs. His channel is called Wolfgang because he used to have a dog that was run over, and since then he adopts old dogs, old senior dogs, and so he has 9. So but anyway, so he had posted one of his newest dogs, and he talked about how this dog is like a talker, like "Wah, wah, wah, wah," And he said it reminded him of a girl he knew when he was in elementary school in Hobbs, New Mexico. And she taught him first of all a dirty limerick set to the tune of the Beverly Hillbillies. And he said, I can't post it here because YouTube won't let me do it. But because somebody's like, well, now I want to know what the limerick was. But she also taught him a phrase that he said it's not any bad words, but if you say it loud enough, it sounds like bad words. And it's what did he say the phrase was? I got dandruff and it really itches, something like that. And he goes, then you just leave the word "I" off, and instead you say it really loud. He goes, and I found out the hard way. I said it in front of my mother, and I got in trouble. But anyway, so he's mentioning this girl from Hobbs, and so somebody in the comments said, something like, "Were you in band? Did you, and because she knew some people from Hobbs, and so, but she mentioned one guy's name, and then she mentioned Dr. James Whitlow."
Oh wow!
Yeah, and she said, he eventually, became a band director at University of New Mexico, and I think my dad knew that guy.
Yeah.
And so I said, I think Dr. Whitlow, I think was my father's high school band director.
Yeah.
Because he helped my father get a scholarship to a college in Texas, and my dad was unable to take advantage of it because it was an academic scholarship, but he had to pay for housing and he couldn't afford to do that, blah, blah, blah. So, but anyway, he always talked about Dr. Whitlow. And so yeah, my dad knew that guy. And, but then also, I told Steve, I said, I don't think I've ever been to Hobbs. I said, but I grew up in Albuquerque and I knew a girl from Hobbs. She was, at UNM with me, a girl named Jo Beth, and so he replied to me. He said, "Was it Jo Beth Williams?" And I said, "Yes, it was." So it was like, that's such a small world, It was so weird. Yeah.
Oh, funny.
So I could, Jo Beth Williams from Hobbs.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
All the little connections. That's so funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
I think Hobbs is the place where when we went there, they rolled up the sidewalks at 7.
Where is Hobbs?
It's down by Portales, close to Texas.
Oh, okay.
It's so close to Texas, they get contaminated because they have an accent down there. Yeah, I used to joke. I think we went through Portales when we went out to Florida.
Maybe.
That time we were coming back. I think that's but
that's where that children's home is, where we sent those pillowcases
yeah.
years ago.
So yeah, Hobbs and Portales are down there by Texas. Joe Beth had an accent, like a little bit of an accent.
Oh,
There's a
funny.
joke about it. I knew somebody from down there from Portales went to UNM, and Joe Beth was from Hobbs.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Well, I have done a lot of adulting lately. Last week I got a new bed. Today I'm getting a new washer, and I'm so old that I'm excited about my washer.
I have one thing that came up in my memories a few days ago was I had taken a picture of the dishwasher we bought and when we lived in Albuquerque. Like, you know, you're old when you get excited about major appliances.
Yes, no, I am very excited about this washer. We decided to, we just have had, you know, the washers, they don't last. And so we decided to buy a Speed Queen, and I'm very excited about it. And that's why I'm excited about the felting project, because a Speed Queen, they are, like, we're not getting the super rough one that's basically one step from a laundromat. We're getting the one that has a little bit nicer, I mean, it's got some gentle cycles and stuff like that. So you have a little bit more control. But it also has the major, like, kill it, cycles that are just like that you can felt things. So I'm excited because I'm like, oh, my Speed Queen is going to felt my slippers perfectly. But also it's just, yeah, we're excited. It'll be nice, and it's smaller. I'm gonna have to learn to do smaller loads instead of being lazy and doing all my clothes at once. And because our washer has been on its last legs, I've only been like just washing my work clothes, you know, as I need them, and you know, and a few things here and there. Otherwise, but like, so all my play clothes, what I call my play clothes, are stacked up. So that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Taking that Speed Queen out for a turn.
I'll say the another thing that came in my memories was I had posted something about how I really wanted my own washer and dryer when I was living in my apartment, because in my second apartment, in my first apartment, I had to go to the house next door to their basement, and that, you know, it was just like 3 steps down, you know, but it was a nasty little basement. And like when it rained, the you know, there was a puddle of water there at the bottom of the steps. And it was funny because there were 4 machines, 4 washers and 4 dryers, and that little laundromat room was for the building that I lived in, which had like 14 apartments, and the house that it was, you know, the basement of, which had, I don't know how many apartments, just a few, didn't have as many, maybe 6 or something. But also, across the parking lot from that was a little brick building, and the upper floors were apartments, and behind it there were 2, what I call the Johnson houses, that were also apartments. And in the parking lot behind the Johnson houses were like 4 or 5, 6 little.
They all shared that washing.
They all shared that machine. That it said, you know, Quapa whatever, Quapa Court, I think. And so we all used those machines. I never saw the same person twice for the like 10, however many years I lived there in that apartment. I never saw the same person twice.
Oh my gosh.
But
that's crazy. That's too many people.
Yeah. So I think most people like went to the laundromat or something with their laundry. But then in my second apartment, we had a laundromat, you know, I mean a laundry room in the basement of the building. So there were, I don't know how many apartments in that building, because there was 3 floors, and there were, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on each floor. So and our laundry room was, well, some of the apartments had their own washer and dryer. So the rest of us, you know, either went out of the building to use a laundry or did it in the basement of the building. But this one, you had to go down a big staircase down to the, you know, to the basement. And then there were fewer machines. I think there were just two of each, two washers and 2 dryers. But yeah, so I had to I had a little rolly cart thing that I would, you know, bump down the stairs to do, you know, and then bump it back up to do the laundry, and then, you know, go up to my room. And so I had posted, I want my own washer and dryer. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, except you have to pay for them. And
Yes,
maintain
yes.
them.
As a matter of fact,
And buy them and
yeah, one day I had taken my laundry down there, and of course I had, I was using both washers, and I had, so I put them in there, and then I'd gone upstairs while the cycle ran, and I, I thought, oh yeah, I need to go get, change to the dryers, and so I was like maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes later than I had, after the cycle was done, and I came down there, and there was a note on one of the washers, and it said, like, oh, you owe me however much for the dryer, please take this money to blah blah blah, and I'm like, why did you touch my clothes? Why did you and put them in you don't even know what goes in the dryer, what doesn't go in the dryer, or whatever. And so this person had put all my clothes. If I could understand if you took it out of the washer and stuck it, just piled it on top while you use the washer. That's one thing. It's kind of, that happens. But this person actually put my clothes in the dryer and started the dryer. Oh. And I'm like, what the heck? And so I had to stop the dryer that they were in, because some of the stuff in that dryer did not go in the dryer. Jeez. It was a hang to dry or whatever. And so, it had the address, the apartment number, and it was my next door neighbor actually, but he didn't do it. A friend of his was doing laundry there, and the friend had done this. And I'm like,
that's a little
what is this? And he was like, I'm so sorry. But it was like, yeah, don't ever do that again.
So when I was in college, my roommate took my clean jeans down to the laundry and washed them and dried them again and left them on top of the dryer. I come down to do my laundry, and I'm
she took them out of your closet, right?
She took them out of my closet. They were clean. She took them out of my closet. She just took them. And she said, well, I needed to make a load. I'm like, the washing machine doesn't care how much clothes you put in it. And
you're not paying for, in college, in a laundromat, you're not paying for energy. That's why people it's not a full load yet, because you don't want to waste the energy,
Yeah, but then she left them on the dryer downstairs. I was like, those look like mine. Those look like mine.
Oh my God.
And I went up, and my pants were gone. I went back down, and I got them. And I told her, did you take my jeans down and then just leave them there? Well, they weren't mine. I didn't think I should have to bring them back.
Oh my God. How about you don't have to take them down either, stupid.
Oh,
it's like, keep your hands off the clothes.
We had an argument. Because they were double washed jeans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were they easy to put on?
No.
No. They were double washed, double dried.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doubly annoyed. She used to want me to dust every day, and I said,
you do it.
No. She would set her an alarm at like 5:30 in the morning and then get up and set it for an hour later. Well, I want to feel like I got an extra hour's sleep. I said, why don't you actually get an extra hour's sleep?
I love that.
Isn't she the one also that wanted you to use the other side of your...
that was my college roommate.
That wanted matching...
She had a light blue comforter on her bed, and I had a double one that was dark and light, and I liked the dark because it's my bed. And she didn't ask me. She remade my bed.
Oh my God.
So that the bed's a match. And this was way before let's decorate our dorm room like, some kind of country home and garden crap that happens now. And don't leave your shoes at the end of the bed because you can see them when you walk in. And I'm like, she was the same one who invited me to her house in New Hampshire, which was a gorgeous house.
So lucky you didn't kick them off as you walked in.
Right, no, and she invited me there to her house for the weekend with some friends. and we were all there, and or maybe it was just me that one time, and I went to just chill out, and I laid down on her couch, and she came and said, if you need to take a nap, you should go to your room. And I was like, I'm just resting. She said, well, we don't lay on the couches. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
or like something like we consider it rude to lay on the couch. And I'm like, I'm thinking, I didn't say, I'm like, well, in my family, we consider it rude to criticize your guests. Like, what? Like, is this a showroom? Anyway, that was my roommate you're thinking of.
I didn't live in the dorms when I was in college, but I lived in the dorms.
In undergrad.
Yeah. When I was a graduate student, I lived in the graduate dorm. And the funny thing for me was that I was there for 4 semesters, right? 2 years in graduate school. I had a different roommate each semester.
Lucky.
But only briefly, because in the graduate dorm, most of the people there are on the waiting list for a single. And I was, because I wanted a cheap room, I had a double room. Well, the first semester, I had Erica the stripper,
Yes.
who she was actually an undergraduate, but she was older, and so she was allowed to live in the graduate dorm because she was over 21, and but she was. It was an interesting situation because I think both of her parents were college professors at SUNY in New York, and I think they wanted her to go to college, and she was kind of really not really interested in going to college, but she was there. So, but she needed extra money, so she started out posing for the art classes. So you had to pose nude or whatever for the art classes for them to draw your body or whatever. But she didn't get enough hours doing that, so she started dancing at this club there in town, and they were apparently always getting in trouble for having underage people there or whatever. And a friend of mine said, yeah, it's kind of like, she explained it like, oh, well, they're not really stripping, it's like flash dance.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, no, they wear pasties and and she was always making like outfits. She was actually a very good seamstress, and because I think at one point she had been at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York.
Nice.
But anyway, so she was always like sewing G-strings and stuff like that for the girls at the club. But anyway, so she never didn't go to class very often because she was always out till 3 o'clock in the morning at this club. And matter of fact, we used to share a phone with our next door neighbor in the dorms. You shared a phone with your neighbor, and one time the phone rang at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and so we answered it very quickly before we could wake up our neighbor, and it was a person calling for a man that she had met at the club, right? It was the man's wife was calling, is John there or whatever. And so Erica's like, no, he's out here. This is the dorm room, blah, blah, blah. And so she got off the phone, and apparently she had given her phone number to this man, and the man had left it at his house apparently, and then gone out somewhere else. So she got off the phone, and then a few minutes later the phone rings again, and it's the same woman looking for her husband. We're like, he's not here.
Oh
and
my gosh.
But anyway, so she toward the end of the semester before finals, she dropped out and left. So that was Erica the stripper. And as a matter of fact, one time my friend Greg and I were going to go somewhere, some function in town, and so he was coming over to meet me, and we were going to walk down there, and she told me, oh, I'm going to go take a shower. And our room was like kind of right across from the bathroom, and I told her, well, my friend Greg's coming over, because I didn't want her to be naked or dressing or anything like that when he came over. And so she goes, oh yeah, okay. And she and I'm like, okay, well, he's coming, so maybe he and I can leave before she comes back. So she went to go take a shower, and he comes to the door, and he comes in, and I'm like trying to hustle him out like, yeah, this is my room, let's go, and so we're about to leave, and then here comes Erica in her towel, and I'm like, this is my roommate. So he's like trying to hustle him out, but so I had her the first semester. The second semester, I had a girl from Pennsylvania, and she, was in the room, and like, I think she was there just a few weeks before a friend of hers from Pennsylvania moved out there also. So they got a room together, an apartment together. So I had the room to myself again. So then the next semester, this girl named Ruby moved in, and she was on the waiting list for a single, and so, but she, like Erica and I had arranged the room a certain way so we would have more floor space, so things were moved around a certain way, and so Ruby was like, could we try a different configuration, try to do this or that, so we moved the furniture like 3 or 4 times in the like 3 or 4 days that she was there. And then she moved out and got a single, and so I moved the furniture back the way it was. But then the fourth semester, I guess, there was a girl from, I think she was from Korea, I think, because I could never. She spoke like this. She spoke very softly, and I could never understand what she was saying. And I don't think I even really knew her name. I think her name was Tiffany. But I wasn't. I mean, that was the name, the American name that she went by. I think, because she would say it like this, and she would say it very quietly. And so we hardly ever spoke. She hardly spoke to me or anything. And so one day, I came by, and I had stopped at the office there to check the mail. And she had a little package, so I came up and I put it on her desk, and I, went about my business, and then I noticed that her bed was stripped, and I just assumed she was doing laundry, and but then she never came back. Her bed was stripped, and I looked, and her desk was empty, and I looked, and her closet was empty, and I'm like, okay, she's gone. I don't know what that means, and then like a couple of days, I didn't know where she was. A couple of days had gone by. And the phone rings, and it was her father, and he was looking for her. And I said, "She's not here. I don't know where she is." Oh, and so, and then like a few days later, I was downstairs in the cafeteria. We had a cafeteria in our basement, and I was in the cafeteria, and I saw her across the room, like sitting with some other Asian students or whatever. And so I went over and I said, "You have a package upstairs. Your father called. I don't know where you are." And so she finally said what room she was in or something. So I was able to take her package to her. Like, she was on the waiting list for a single, and she, I didn't know that, and she just disappeared.
She just moved out without telling
me.
She
just.
Well, so you're lucky because you got rid of all your roommates accidentally.
Yeah.
I had to fight. So one, I was like, I can't live with this person anymore. I can't. And they made us do role playing and all this BS, and finally she moved out and we got a different person. That was a whole story.
Well,
I don't have time for that story today, but that was a whole thing.
I think we need to go.
Yes, I gotta go meet my new washer and wash all my clothes tonight so that I can be ready for Chicago.
Yes.
I gotta find all my sweaters and jackets and umbrellas, and
we get to actually use them. We didn't use our sweaters and jackets this winter.
I know.
This winter, it's like didn't even get cold enough for a sweater. All right.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again and listening to all our nonsense. Look at my sweater. Look at it. It's pretty. It's coming along.
It's gonna be nice.
I think it's gonna be nice. Look at the drape. I really like it a lot.
I like the color.
Yeah. Is it blue? Is it gray? Is it brown? It's blue. Because
I think it'll look different depending on what you wear it with.
Right. Well, and it's funny because it seems like the browns are winding up in the trenches, and the blues and grays are winding up on the outside. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
But I just want to thank you so much for joining us.
Lose some stitches if you're not careful.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose them. Just a second. thanks for joining us again this week. We hope your May is going well. Let us know if you're participating in any challenges or things this summer and spring. And we will be back again next week. I'll be back with Tales of Chicago. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.